Here we have all our panelists. Before we dive into the discussion, may I please request AVM GP Sharma to take the dais for their presentation. Once again, a warm welcome to you. बहुत-बहुत स्वागत है आपका सर.
As announced, I am Air Vice Marshal GP Sharma, the Skymet Weather Services. At the outset, thanks to the organizers for inviting me to the prestigious event, SEIC 2025. As announced also, our session is on climate change impact. And in that, as I said, our session is on climate change impact, wherein I have been tasked to cover this topic, that's La Nina prediction and its impact on agriculture. If you remember, just in the last session, these things had already come in for some mention in the climate change. The presentation which Dr. Claudio made, it did find a mention of climate change impact. It did mention even the La Nina, El Nino impact, which will be a part of my presentation as such. So part of it has already been covered, the rest I shall try. Agriculture as such is a economic activity which is largely dependent on the climate. And climate in turn, Indian climate is largely dependent on the monsoon, and which in turn is largely influenced by El Nino, La Nina, popularly we call it as ANSO cycle, as and when they are active. And mind you, we are in an active ANSO cycle almost for the last 2 years now. Remember, 2023, strong El Nino, which spoiled our monsoon. And last year, we started recovering in the beginning itself. And then it was expected, there was a prediction that La Nina is likely through the monsoon season. It didn't happen. Then we said it's going to be possibly post-monsoon season. It didn't happen. Actually, it bucked all predictions. And the last one now, the other day only, day before yesterday, I say the Climate Prediction Center, the forecasting wing of NOAA, they said that the threshold of La Nina is yet to be reached, since the complete data of January is yet to arrive. I'm here to share with you that I think whatever data was to come, it has come now. I have worked out. Basically, the La Nina index, we call it as the Oceanic Nino Index. It's a quarterly rolling index. And for the quarter, November, December, Jan, as per my calculation, which I have worked out, it has just touched the threshold of temperature anomaly minus 0.5 degree Celsius. That is the threshold. And we can say that possibly I think the La Nina threshold has reached now, though it continues to be a borderline case, I say. And La Nina condition, they're still lingering in the Pacific Ocean. And as we proceed, possibly in the next quarter also, that's the December, Jan, Feb, conditions we will have. La Nina conditions, it's very essential for these conditions to sustain. It's not the La Nina has just touched the threshold and that's a La Nina event. No. Actually, the prediction, the forecast that it has to last for the next couple of quarters, that is more essential. And hopefully it does. In case it collapses, the game is over. Okay? So, as and when the season goes further, I think we will have more of it. The little go back in the history, what La Nina has done to us in the past. Since the reliable records began, that's in 1950, from there on, there have been 18 occasions when the La Nina conditions prevailed over the Indian subcontinent. Why is Indian subcontinent? It's a La Nina or El Nino, they are the worldwide phenomena impacting differently. So La Nina favorable to us. So 18 occasions, it includes the triple dip La Nina of 2020, 21 and 22. Okay. The 16 out of these years, as we see, it has favored us. It has given a good monsoon, but then 2 years it did fail also. We see the rainfall is quite less in 92% also. Yeah, and 93%. So 2 years, yes, it was below normal monsoon rainfall, but 16 out of these 18 years, it has given a good monsoon rain. That means La Nina is, by and large, it behaves. But I will put it with caution that La Nina at best saves us from a drought. Rainfall could be normal or on occasionally maybe above normal. The other thing which you can clearly see, before 1998, there are many occasions when the La Nina has given us excess rainfall. Excess means 110% or more of the long period average. Look at the bars. There are 6 of them. But surprisingly, after 1988, not a single one. That means the monsoon rainfall is reducing. And rightly so, the National Weather Agency has revised the long period average of monsoon, which earlier it used to be 89 centimeter for the season. Now it is 868 millimeter. Since 1988, only one occasion, that too in the triple dip La Nina, once it comes closer to, it was 109%, but not 110 or above. So the excess rainfall possibly is the events are very little, very far, and then I don't know when do we see it next happening. The next one, it was there in the news that since the La Nina conditions are going to come this time now, it's going to affect largely our winter months. There are going to be plenty of rainfall also. It's going to be a very harsh winter, severe winters. In any case, we already always deferred, and we have been writing on our website, though, La Nina doesn't have that favorable correlation with the winter months. Winter months means January and February, okay? March, since it's a pre-monsoon season, for North India, yes, the winter conditions still prevail, but we take January and February as the winter months. And look at this. In the month of January and February, whenever winter La Nina conditions were there, the rainfall on more occasions has been below normal. In the last 15 years, only on 2 years it is a little above normal, but otherwise it is less. And mind you, this year, we say that La Nina conditions that their month of January is the driest. So far, there's almost a deficiency of 72%. Difficult to catch up. It won't happen. So where is La Nina going to favor us in the winter? And I keep my fingers crossed for the next month, February. The forecast is not very promising, not very encouraging. Though in the first week of, February, we do have some good rains, good snowfall, 3rd and 4th, for the mountains, for the plains of Punjab, Haryana, Delhi, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh. But then that's a 2-3 days of here. Hopefully, we have some more subsequently in the second fortnight also, but it's not very promising as such as of now. Okay. Now, what happens during La Nina? Just briefly, I will say, the westerly jet stream, very, very popular, very, very strong winds, core of very strong winds. It's a circumglobal phenomena. The case in point here is for the US, but a similar condition, they prevail for us also. The strong westerly jet, it shifts northward during La Nina condition. What does it do? The lower portions, that's the tropical region, subtropical region, they are left drier also, they are left a little warmer also. Same is the case with us. Northern parts of the country, they are definitely warmer this winter season. Delhi has not seen even a single cold day, cold wave condition in this January. Very unusual. So this is what it does. And what El Nino, La Nina, what actually, it's basically a rising and the sinking air around different parts of the globe, and that is what is this phenomena. The completion of this rising and sinking, we call it as a Walker circulation, and when this cycle is complete, obviously we call it as these events. The pockets differ, as we see. During El Nino event and during the La Nina event, pockets differ. Sinking motion during the El Nino, that's around the Australian region, Pacific Ring countries, West Pacific Ring countries, in the proximity of Indian subcontinent, Indonesian region. That is where the sinking is there during El Nino and drier conditions. And it reverses during La Nina conditions, and that is how we see better rainfall during La Nina. Just appreciate, globally, we say the warming, Pacific warming. The left-hand picture, that is what during the 2023 El Nino condition. Look at the warming which was there along the equator in the Nino region. The dark gray color, we can appreciate that temperatures are more than 2 degrees. Temperature anomaly was higher than 2 degrees. And it started easing out in 2024, and we can see the difference. We can appreciate it more in this picture, wherein the average is taken for July, August, September in 2024, when the average, you can see it has cooled down over those Nino region. Blue regions can be seen. Blue marks can be seen. But then it falls short of, it fell short of still threshold of La Nina conditions, and it remained 0.3, 0.4. But then it started coming up around this time. Globally, you see, during La Nina and El Nino, basically the South Asian region, Southeast Asian region, and the South American region, that's become more vulnerable. Not that Africa is not affected, it is. But then, yes, South Asia means obviously India, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Nepal, Bangladesh, these are the countries. And Southeast Asian region, they get impacted largely, which include your Thailand, it is Vietnam, Laos, Malaysia, Pacific Ring countries. This is what those regions are there. And South America, obviously, Brazil, it's mentioned, came time and again because it's the largest producing sugarcane country. So South America, yes, that also is largely affected during this. Individually, I saw that list which Dr. Claudio, he gave the sugar producing countries. I think 5 of the top those 10 sugarcane producing countries, they were in Asia, India, China, Pakistan, Thailand, and I think Indonesia. Okay, India region, obviously, as I mentioned now, La Nina conditions, they favor us. They favor us greatly. Good rainfall is definitely expected. But then, unfortunately, this particular event, as I said, is going to be very, very short and sweet. Okay, that we'll discuss as we have next slide. The Brazil is largely affected. La Nina condition, it is the reverse actually. If La Nina condition, they're favorable for Indian region, it's not so for South American region. Large part of Brazil, it is actually the east coast of Brazil, large east coast, it's also open to the sea. Whereas the western parts of Brazil, it's a landlocked. So as such, there is a lot of variation, a lot of fluctuations. Vulnerability is more there. Northern half of Brazil is still better off during La Nina conditions, but then the other parts, basically like Argentina, Chile, southern parts of the Brazil, they become vulnerable to that. Thailand, its fluctuations are very large. And Indonesia behaves differently. Remember 2014 and 15, wherein we had a strong El Nino year and a drought years, 2 successive drought in 2014 and 15. But this was the country where agricultural production was good during that time. Reasons why? Still, at Pakistan, in any case, gets favorable rains during La Nina. But then possibly, I think, I do not know how is it now, storage capacity, water storage capacity is not all that good. Whatever excess rains are there, they get drained out. This is the La Nina picture, which shows more than half of the world it goes dry during the... And worldwide, this is the picture, how La Nina behaves, how La Nina does. If you read it correctly, our region, that is the Indian subcontinent region, obviously June to September, it is showing wet conditions, okay? The drier conditions are there from November to March, and rightly so, we are now in that phase, a drier phase. African continent, barring small portion, which is there on the eastern side, which includes Malawi, Mozambique, Tanzania, Zimbabwe, the rest of the countries in Africa, they behave during La Nina condition. South America, as I said earlier, northern parts and adjoining to that, that is some Venezuela, Suriname, these countries, they behave. Caribbean is all right, but then large parts of Brazil and, as I said, Argentina, Chile, obviously they suffer. Best part in Africa, I said, South Africa, Angola, Namibia, Congo, they do behave. Yeah. That's it. This is the last part. This is the current picture now. Okay. We see that La Nina is developing. We can see it, that the tall bars, but it doesn't last very long. We can have the La Nina conditions during now till January, Feb, March. As soon as the spring comes, they will start fading out. And then possibly middle of spring or so, we get back to the ENSO neutral conditions. Means what? I have already said the winters are going to be mild, it's going to be drier, little warmer than normal. Some of our states, possibly Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, anytime end of February or first half of March, the harvest starts. Okay, that is the time we need some decent temperatures, decent climatic conditions. But then, courtesy La Nina, it's going to be a little drier, little warmer. Coming the monsoon season, as we see, the La Nina becomes ENSO neutral. But the encouraging thing is, as we see the months of July, August, September, the La Nina component is more than El Nino. It is basically a divide between the La Nina and ENSO neutral. I feel the monsoon should behave. And second half of the monsoon should be better than the first half. That's what I predict. Okay, that's it. Mitigation impact, it's for everyone. To see, if the first one I've written is early warning. It's a challenging, the early warning of La Nina, El Nino, what has happened. We know that it bucked all predictions, so it's a very, very challenging thing. Other thing, that the improved water management, strengthening and irrigation, your schemes, etc., network, floodplain management, excess water if it can be utilized, and lastly, we can add, in case the possible, the crop cycle, the crop cycle also, and the crop duration, the crop as such, in case it can be modified or changed. That's it.